55 miles an hour, 2,350 RPMs, and just happy. Running like 160 on the temp. We got 80 plus pounds of oil pressure, tons of vacuum. This truck's amazing. It's never going to get anywhere fast, but I guarantee we're the coolest guys on the road right now. We've got more thumbs up, more people taking their smartphones and videoing us on the freeway in the last like even 10 miles. Like 4 people come up to us at the gas station, want to talk about the truck. Incredible, I love it. Awesome, best purchase ever.
Hey guys, we're back from our epic road adventure, and the guy behind the camera was on the adventure, but you don't see him because he's behind the camera. We drove my Toyota Land Cruiser down to Ceres, I believe it's spelled C-E-R-E-S, Ceres, California, just south of Modesto, California, and rescued this Loadstar. We talked about it already a little bit, but we kind of want to go over what the truck is, some features of the truck, and why I'm so like jacked. Like, I'm so excited. Like, literally, this is the coolest truck I've ever bought. So we drove back. It was about 600 miles. Went over 2 mountain passes. They're about 6,000 feet, 7% grades. I mean, you know, we kind of threw the whole kitchen sink at the truck to see, I mean, not on purpose, it just happened, to see what it was going to do. And it was 55, 60 miles an hour the whole way. That's all she does. That's totally fine. 2,500 RPMs. The crazy thing is, you got 11.7 miles per gallon on the whole trip. This truck weighs 15,000 pounds. My Land Cruiser weighs 6,000 pounds, so we're 21,000 pounds. Patrick and I, you know, we're 150 pounds apiece, something like that. We're pretty light. But anyway, 11.7. That's great. Diesel. I love diesel. Diesel's my favorite. So this is a Caterpillar 3208 diesel, which is a V8, naturally aspirated, is non-turbo. But what these motors are really known for, they're 100% mechanical, they have a lot of low-end torque, just tons of torque. You think about a 5.9 Cummins in a pickup, like this thing's like that on steroids, like just so much torque. Not high horsepower, but lots of torque. So, drove great. I don't feel like we needed earplugs. It definitely is not quiet, but I mean, we carried on a conversation the entire time on the way home until we got to the point where we were just like, yeah, I don't want to talk anymore. I'm driving. I don't want to get home. I want to get home. And then in the last couple hours, you can see the mountains here. You see that white fluffy stuff there? So we're driving home. California is 80 degrees. We get Northern California, it's like 60 degrees. We get to Southern Oregon, it's like 55 degrees. And then we're coming up Highway 97, and we get about 2 hours from home. And all of a sudden, poof, just snowstorm, like whiteout, like blizzard and frozen rain. And I'm like, where's the windshield wiper switch? Like, we hadn't tried the wipers yet. Do the wipers work? Does it have wipers? When I'm like, dude, does it even have a blade on the wiper? Is it going to scratch the window? Like, we're just panicking, right? Because it's blowing to the point where I almost can't see. At one point, I said to Patrick, I'm like, I can't see. I don't know what to do. And so we're pulling, and he finally gets his phone out, and he got the flashlight, and we're turning these knobs. Like, okay, there's a wiper. We turn it on. I was like, praise God, the wipers work. Then we had to figure out the defrost. Now, the fan and the defroster and the heater, everything works, right? But this truck's from like California, Southern California specifically, originally, California now. It doesn't get cold in California, ever. That's why people live there. It's hot all year round. So on the cooling system on this truck, and many of these old trucks, there's a valve where you can turn off the coolant to the heater core so that you don't get that extra heat that just, you know, radiates from the heater core in the cab in the summer, so it's not like extra hot. So of course that was turned off, right? We don't know. We're not going to pull over in a snowstorm and find out. So the heat's blowing and the defroster's going and the fan's going. It's cold, like it's lukewarm at best, you know, whatever. So then we're like, wing windows, okay, get some cross ventilation, crank the windows down, and like, and the whole time, I mean, we're going like 28 miles an hour. We had been going 60, and now we're doing like 28. And there's a semi truck behind us, and he's like, you know, flashing his lights. What are you doing? Why aren't you going fast? And I'm just like, I can't go fast. I can't see my wipers go this fast in a snowstorm. Anyway, we got through that. We made it to a town that's about 30 miles from here. Pulled over this little Chevron. They're still open, but like you could see, we pull in and we saw the buckets of the soap and water for the windshield cleaning dumped out, because you know it's the end of the day. It's 10 o'clock at night. Like we don't need those anymore. They're dumped out, and I'm just like, oh, I'm kind of like deflated at that point, because I was hoping we could clean the window, get all the goop off and the grime and stuff. We got no windshield washer squirters. We don't have those. 1977, they didn't need that. So the guy comes out, and he's not sure if we're getting diesel or if we need help or whatever. And I told him what we were doing, and he's like, oh, well, man, you guys have been traveling a long way. He's like, I'll go make you a fresh bucket of hot water and soap. I'm like, really? Super nice guy. So he goes in, makes us a fresh bucket of this stuff, gets us this big, long, must have been 5 feet long, squeegee thing to clean the window. We clean the windows up, wipe everything down. At that point, kind of like let our adrenaline come down, let our blood pressure come down. We kind of like calmed down a little bit, and caught our breath, had a little water, you know, kind of like, okay, we got this. And it's like 30 miles. I mean, we're not that far, but we had just been through the last 30 minutes of like torrential craziness, and both of us were just like, so it was a nice break. Got the windows clean, got back in the truck, drove it home, and we get home and turned it off and didn't unload anything. Patrick wanted to go home. It's pouring down rain, it's dark, it's windy, it's like 33 degrees outside, you know, cold. And so Patrick goes home, and I went inside, and it was like, you know, it was like 11:30 at night. So I was gonna like sit in the hot tub and relax and have a cocktail and calm myself down. Nope. I literally took a shower and went to bed, because I was so dang tired from the whole day. I mean, it was 12 and a half, 13-hour day. So, but you guys get to see all that in this episode. I don't know if it's going to be this one or we're going to do 2 episodes, but it's all, we filmed it all, so you guys will get to see it. And I wouldn't change it for anything. It was epic. Like this is what makes this job and this business amazing. The stories, the adventure, the trucks, the soul of the truck, and then getting it home and using it and putting it to use. So I got a call this morning from Joe Coito. We got to pronounce it correctly now. Joe Coito, the owner that I got it from, and he was just checking in to make sure got home and everything was safe and everything like that, and to, you know, and I thanked him for choosing us to buy it, because he had plenty of other people that could have bought this truck, and he felt like it needed to go to our place, and he was really happy that it went to our place. So had a nice conversation with him. He was happy that everything was, you know, on the up and up on the way home, other than the snowstorm and Mother Nature trying to throw us a curveball. But it was fun, and I can't wait to go rescue the first truck here with it, and you guys will see it. We'll film it, I guarantee it. So couple of the things that we, you know, I don't know if we touched on already about the bed and the truck itself. And this truck is a Sundance edition. That's what the paint job is, the orange and white. They made 2 colors of this truck. They made a brown and white, same paint scheme, but dark brown and orange, and they only made this for 1 year. So there really isn't that many of these trucks around. And then the Caterpillar diesel that's in here, I did some research with some international buddies of mine and found out this is one of only 50 that was ever made with the Caterpillar diesel. So that makes this truck really special. Most of these had a big block 392, a 404, or a 504, I believe, big, huge international gas engine. And that's what they put in all the Loadstars. That was just a normal thing, that lots of gearing, splitter in the rear, and a gas motor, and they just, you know, because that's what they use for everything. So this truck being a diesel is definitely special in that regards, which is really cool. The original owner, his name was Dick. He is the one that built the bed and put the whole truck together. And what's funny is that this guy, he had a Peterbilt, a 359 Peterbilt, long hood semi truck, and he sold that truck to buy this brand new and build this bed and start his business with this truck. And his business was tractor and vintage tractor and equipment restoration and repair. So people that had stuff from the 40s and the 50s and the 60s that they were either still using it or they were using it for parades and shows and things like that, they wanted a restoration. So he would go out to their place and pick up the tractor or pick up the piece of equipment, bring it back to his shop, do the restoration or just do the maintenance or do the repairs or whatever it needed, and then he'd take it back to the customer and drop it off. So this truck was designed by him with the bed to haul anything he needed to haul, because that's what he built his business on for like 40 years. And you know, when this truck was new in '77, depending on how old you are watching the video, the Vietnam War era, they had a lot of stuff from the Vietnam War and the wars of the 70s, and you know, military stuff at the military surplus stores. They still have military surplus today, but a lot of the stuff from those wars obviously is long gone. This decking material right here, this is called Reel Lock. I was told by a military guy, and what this was this is a material that they actually had on a big spool on the back of a truck, and they would roll it out. It's interlocks right here. You can see the little teeth and the slots. It interlocks. They would roll this out, and this is what they would make airplane landing strips with in the middle of nowhere, like a dirt field or a sand area or a beach or whatever. They needed to land airplanes and aircraft on it. They would build this into an airfield. They also use this to drive equipment, tanks, trucks, personnel carriers over marsh or over wetlands and stuff when they needed to drive stuff so it wouldn't get stuck, so they'd use it as a road for that. Well, after the war was over, they had all this stuff left over on the reel lines, so they peeled it all off into sheets like this. And I don't know if they were 8 feet or 10 feet, or I don't know what the length was, but they peeled them off and they just stacked them up at the military surplus stores and they'd sell them in sheets. So Dick bought a bunch of these, and that's what this deck is actually made from. So it was dimple dyed, and then it's interlocked, and then he tack welded it and stitched it all together on the deck. So the dimple dye adds strength. It also adds, if it was on the other side, it would add traction, but it doesn't because it's on this side. It adds strength, and it allows it to be lighter weight. So this is a really heavy duty deck, but it doesn't weigh what a all steel deck would normally weigh, which is great. So the bed is 19 feet long from the headache rack to the tail. It does have pull-out ramps in the back here on both sides. And we are going to mount a winch on the front so that we can winch up stuff, and I'm going to build a little insert piece in the center back there with a roller fairlead, because we're going to use synthetic winch line, so we want that to have a roller on there. And then we can drag anything dead up there. Doesn't run, doesn't drive, flat tires, whatever, just like our tow truck and our trailer, we can just pull it right up. And I think the other thing we might do, and we'll film this if we do, we might put a receiver hitch on the back and put some bracing there so we can pull our single car trailer and this, so we would be able to get two at one time. So that would be helpful. Other than that, I mean, I know you guys can't get the excitement on the video that I have and the passion that I have for the truck. Hopefully you can. But this is just really, literally one of the greatest trucks I've ever bought in my entire life. And I'm so thankful that Joe chose us to buy it. And I say chose because he had plenty of people that were ready to pull the trigger, and he picked us to buy it after finding out what we were doing. And I just can't wait to carry on the legacy and make memories with it and tell stories with it and do videos for you guys so you can watch it, and rescue a whole bunch more of these trucks so we can tell those stories to you guys too. So stay tuned for the next one. Make sure you guys like, tag, share, and follow, and help us continue to tell the stories of these trucks.